I started watching one of those videos with Barack Obama and Akhenaten, where this guy is having a seminar and he is comparing Barack Obama to Akhenaten. I didn't watch the whole thing because immediately he started to compare Akhenaten to the devil. And he started to compare Barack Obama to the devil. Okay, so when you first of all, if when you're watching any type of video that's supposed to be informational, okay, and it immediately starts to try to scare you with the devil, then you should think to yourself, one, first of all, they're mentioning the devil, so they're purposely trying to scare me because that's what they do. That's what a lot of people who are trying to share information, but they want to persuade you on how to think in a certain situation. If you are a religious person, they immediately throw in the devil so they can persuade your judgment. Okay, you're supposed to be fearful. You're supposed to be afraid of the devil. So they're misinforming you because all they want to do is scare you. Okay? So as soon as you hear them say something about the devil, you should immediately believe they're trying to scare the hell out of me. And then the second thing you should believe is, or your second thing, or the first thing you should ask yourself after you realize they're trying to scare the hell out of you by mentioning the devil, the first thing you should ask yourself is, why are they trying to scare the hell out of me? Third thing is, what don't they want me to know? Because if you have read your Bible and you have read it well, you should know that the name Akhenaten is nowhere in the Bible. Nowhere. So if the name Akhenaten is not in the Bible, that means that somebody pre-selected this pharaoh to be the pharaoh to try to blame all of that stuff on that happened in the Bible. Now, then the next question you should be asking yourself is, why did they select this pharaoh? Okay, now if there is a real connection between Akhenaten and Barack Obama, everything they're saying to you is a lie. Because, one, Akhenaten ain't in the Bible. And two, they're trying to scare the hell out of you by calling both Barack Obama and Akhenaten the devil. That means there is some hidden information somewhere they don't want you to know. So then the next thing you should say is, well, I wonder where can I find this hidden information? Because it's going to be somewhere. There is going to be some information somewhere on the internet that is nothing like, it's not trying to scare you. All it is trying to inform you of who Akhenaten really was and his history in the world. Now I'm going to give you my theory as why somebody would randomly select Akhenaten as the pharaoh. Because there were many, many pharaohs. And all you got to do is Google search that. Okay? All you got to do is Google search Egyptian pharaohs. Okay? A pharaoh was a ruler, a king. King Tut was a pharaoh. So why did they not select King Tut as the pharaoh who was supposed to be in the Bible? Because you ain't never heard that before, right? King Tut is probably one of the most popular pharaohs. But yet it has never been said that he was the pharaoh from the Bible. Right? Okay. So why are we going to select Akhenaten? This is my theory. There are two things about Akhenaten that would be something insulting to Barack Obama if you compare Barack Obama to Akhenaten. And the first thing is the appearance of Akhenaten. Akhenaten, if you see any photos of Akhenaten has breast, has a pot belly and broad hips. Okay. However, it's also reported that Akhenaten had extra long fingers and that the joints of the knees were backwards, meaning that the joints bent in the opposite direction of everybody else's knees. Now, Akhenaten had a wife, however. So the appearance of Akhenaten is almost as if he was a woman, okay, because he had breasts and he had wide hips. And some of the photos he's actually seen holding a baby. The appearance of Akhenaten looking like he could be a woman is an insult to Barack Obama. That's how I see that. Because it could possibly be that he could have been a hermaphrodite. Okay, a hermaphrodite is both male and female, a person that has both male and female parts. So if you're comparing Barack Obama to this pharaoh that looks like a hermaphrodite, that's an insult. Also, when you watch the movie 300, you see an image of a god what people worship as a god that look like he's both male and female. He's very, very feminine god. Okay, now I'm not sure if that person in 300, the movie 300, is the same one that they're trying to, portray as Akhenaten. But I did find it very strange that this god or this ruler in the movie 300 was very, very feminine, very, very male and female. But I also read somewhere that a lot of people were actually hermaphrodites thousands of years ago. So that condition of having both male and female parts, from my understanding, it happened a lot, thousands of years ago. Now, the other thing about Akhenaten's appearance, he had an elongated skull, like his skull was a big skull, bigger than your normal average human being. Now, with that being said, if you ever seen this movie, you ever seen a television show called Ancient Aliens, they talk about this. They talk about Akhenaten as being from another planet. They talk about it so matter-of-factly, like this person, this pharaoh, was from another planet. But at the same time, there are other pharaohs that they also claim were also from another planet. So if you ever look for the information about Akhenaten, and I would advise you to do so, try to look for information that ain't trying to scare the hell out of you. It's just trying to provide you information about who this person is. You'll see that it says that this pharaoh, Akhenaten, came from the stars. Aliens is something else, or life in the universe is something else that is widely used to scare the hell out of folks. Now, they could also be trying to insult Barack Obama by saying that he's an alien from another planet. Okay. By comparing Barack Obama to Akhenaten. Now, I know there has to be some type of connection that they're really trying to connect Akhenaten with, but to compare Barack Obama and Akhenaten, or to say that he's a clone of this particular pharaoh, they're using things that would scare most people. But then you have to wonder, this is a black person from another planet. That's what they're claiming. So how can you openly claim that a black person from another planet became pharaoh, a ruler of Egypt, but at the same time claim that life does not exist throughout the universe? So that means what? Is it the fact that there is life throughout the universe and black people exist throughout the universe is what they're trying to scare the hell out of you for? Meaning that they don't want you to know that, so they have to keep you in fear to keep you away from it. That they have to keep it a secret. It can't be real. But he has to be the devil. He looked like an alien. He looks like he's evil. He's the pharaoh from the Bible, which his name ain't nowhere in the Bible. So all of this fear mongering has to be for a purpose. If there is some hidden information that they don't want you to know about Akhenaten, and then they're trying to relate it to Barack Obama. So there has to be, if there is a connection to Barack Obama and this pharaoh. The one thing that I know for certain, or that I remember, is that the Akhenaten was one of those pharaohs who changed Egypt a lot. And the other thing, the connection that I know, one thing that he became very popular for was his religious beliefs. He believed in a god called Aten. His his beliefs, his religious beliefs, his spiritual beliefs, also then became what we currently call Christianity. So the understanding, if you try to understand his religious beliefs, then you will understand that what you currently call Christianity came from somewhere else, and it came from Egypt, and it came from this particular pharaoh, Akhenaten. So then you're going to find a story about Horus and Isis and Set. Okay, now when you find that, you're thinking, well, Horus's mother is named Isis, right? So I don't know if this, if pretending that Akhenaten is the devil, and he brought into existence the belief in Horus and Isis, and he was the devil, and you're not supposed to believe that form of religion. Okay, when you go into the internet, a lot of times you're going to find that they're going to pretend like this story of Isis and Horus is not the original story of Christianity, but it is. This is where it comes from. This was one of the previous versions of Christianity. It's the story of Horus and Isis. I also find it very strange that we're at war with a terrorist group called ISIS. It's really difficult for me to disconnect the connection, meaning that to me, to claim that we are at war with a group called ISIS, and you're naming this group after a female deity from a previous version of Christianity, but yet you're claiming this group is Muslim. Like, to me, 1 + 1, it doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even believe that a Muslim group would call themselves ISIS, because then they would know who ISIS really was. Why would they name themselves after this female deity named Isis, knowing that Isis was a female god? And then Muslims, they suppress women. So why would you name yourself after a female deity, after a female Christian deity? And that, okay? So something about the whole ISIS terrorist group, it doesn't make sense. I grew up in a very strict Christian family home. So it's difficult for me sometimes to talk about Christianity and talk about it in a way that I know most Christians are not going to understand. Because I know that when I was growing up, I gave my life over to Christ at a very young age. But as I got older and I started to understand the history of where my religion comes from, it was very difficult for me to learn because of the fear that they instill in you when you are dedicated to a religion. The fear is the fear of the devil, and they want you to believe that you're going to hell if you don't continue to believe the same way you've always believed. If you doubt this one particular religion, you're going to hell, or the devil is going to get you, or something bad is going to happen to you. This is what is instilled in Christians' mind. So when I say that there was another version of religion, of Christianity, before the current version of Christianity, if you are dedicated to your religion, you should automatically feel that there's some doubt that maybe what I just said is not true. However, that is only because you don't know the history of where it comes from. Okay, the fear, it's a real fear, but it's a fear that's instilled in you, not because it's true, because it's the fear of the devil and the fear of backsliding and the fear of going to hell is instilled in people so that you don't investigate where your religion comes from, so that you stick with this religion, not try to investigate where it comes from or explore different religions or explore different spiritualities. They don't want you to do that. And that is the reason why the fear of the devil and going to hell is so instilled in people's minds in church. God gives you the right to believe in whatever you want to believe in. Religion governs spirituality, meaning religion places rules and restrictions on your spirituality. If you were not religious, you are free to experience your spirituality however you choose, without rules and regulations telling you this ain't of God and that's of God and that's of the devil and that's evil, and if you're going to hell because you're doing this and that. That is what religion does. But if you are not religious and you are truthfully spiritual, you have the ability, or you have the right, to explore your spirituality and have a relationship with God without any rules attached. Okay? God gives you that right to have a spiritual relationship with God without any rules. Religion takes those rights away from you and tell you there's only one way to believe. If you don't believe this, you're going to hell. All the different religions tell their people something similar because they want them to continue to believe in that one particular religion. But guess what? There is no such thing as one true religion. How do you know that to be true? Because there's so many religions. All of these religions are created by other people. None of them are created by God. And that's how you know for certain that there is no such thing as a one true religion that's telling you the truth about God. Because if there was only one religion created by God, then none of the other religions will exist. And if you have not studied where your religion comes from, then you can easily be fooled by somebody else telling you this is what the Bible says, or this comes from the Bible. And you don't know the history even of where the Bible comes from, because every single word of the Bible was also written by other people. Not a word of it was written by God. Okay, you have to understand what the definition of God really means. Most people don't even understand that. They really just go along with what they're told in church, and they don't understand it for themselves. You have the right to understand it for yourself. God gives you the right to believe in yourself. God gives you the right to believe in what you believe in. God gives you the right to trust your own judgment, to think for yourself, and not to just go along with something because somebody told you this is of God and this ain't of God. You have to understand it for yourself, because you could fall for anything that anybody is telling you because they're trying to pretend it's of God or ain't of God.